going to change in the next 5 minutes.
Oh, no.
No.
Hello,
So you
everyone.
might as well just hit the button.
I did hit the button.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Waking Up. I know we were not here last week because I had the Rona. If y'all aren't on my Instagram, if y'all aren't my Insta, or you don't follow me on Marco Polo,
Go follow her.
Yeah, I update actually pretty often. I'm mostly on Insta. That's usually where most of my stuff has been. I'm like, okay, I used to be TikTok, but then it's just like, with all the crap going on, I was like, Insta's been around. Insta's the staple for at least the millennials. That's, you know what, and I'm here for it. It's okay. Hello, I am Anna, and with me today, as always, is Sean, my co-host, who is very uncomfortable because here's the deal. I did not tell him what we were talking about until about 2 minutes before 1 his time, noon my time. So he sit with this for about 5 minutes. Okay, this topic for 5 minutes. And, first off, he doesn't like to not be prepared. Second, this topic for him, not an easy one. So it's fine. It's fine. However, I did share the outline with him.
I'm prepared.
Yeah, we both have our Star Wars mugs. It's fine. It's all right.
Hey, Nerdy Will.
Hi, Nerdy Will. I know we're actually sort of running on time. I actually woke up at a decent hour. Yeah. I'm not rolling up at 11:30 going, shit, I got to stream in 30 minutes. So let's get on with our disclaimer. And I like to push Sean out of his comfort zone, which is what his therapist wanted him to do. So that is what I was doing. I am being a good friend, Nerdy Will. So don't make it look like I'm being all mean and cruel. I am just helping push him out of his comfort zone, which is exactly
You're just facilitating what my therapist.
Exactly what his therapist told him he needed to do yesterday. So. All right, here's our disclaimer. Here on Waking Up, we are not here to bash anybody's religion or faith or religious beliefs. We think that religion and faith are beautiful things when done in a mentally and emotionally healthy manner. We are not trained professionals. We are not. Just sorry. We are not therapists. We are not counselors. We are not licensed life coaches. We're none of that. We are just two people who are dealing with our trauma. We are working through our mental health, and anything said on this podcast is all our own opinions, our personal experiences and our personal beliefs. If you do need professional help, we do have information to help you get in touch with real professionals. So you can contact us on socials at NerdMomAce or at Dorian Sombra, and so we can get you the help that you need. Sean and I grew up in North Carolina, the buckle of the Bible Belt, Billy Graham territory. We both grew up Southern Baptist, which for those of you who don't know is a evangelical conservative denomination of the Christian faith, which again, we say this all the time, is apparently getting worse and worse. See, I didn't think it could get any worse than what we were growing up, but apparently, apparently not. Apparently, it is what it is. So
they proved us wrong.
Yep, they did prove us wrong. It could get worse. So, yes. So for today's topic, are you ready, Sean? Are you ready for this topic?
I mean, how ready could one be for this topic? Not me. No,
you should be ready.
You know what? Just rip the Band-Aid. Just rip the Band-Aid off. It's fine. I got it.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Let's go for it.
Okay. All right. So today's topic is vetting. It's not just for the spicy. Now, for for those of us in the spicy community, for what we at least, if you're not already vetting, which you should be always if you're in the spicy community. However, if you're new to the community, or if you just are not in the community, that's fine. You know, vanilla ice cream is a flavor, and it's good on a lot of things too. So the definition is vetting is the process of observing, questioning, and evaluating whether someone aligns with your values, boundaries, and goals before you invest deeply.
Ooh, deeply investing.
Yes. Okay, so I need you to tell me a time, Sean, in a time where you didn't vet anyone, and not, don't think spicy, but like where you honestly didn't vet anyone, and it turned out like a shit show.
My marriage.
And there you have it, folks. I mean, you ain't wrong.
I mean,
you're not wrong.
Right?
You're not wrong.
Isn't that kind of why it turns out that way? Because I wasn't properly vetting.
I mean, fair.
There were signs. There were definitely signs. With my relationships, I think the problem I have with why I don't do a good job of vetting, why I haven't done a good job of vetting, is because of my self-worth. Actually, we're going too deep into that. You know what? My marriage is just I don't think there's really the concept of vetting, like vetting friends. I don't think that's really been a thing for
But
me.
it is. But it is. Everybody vets somebody. You just don't know that you're doing it. And that's the thing.
Or sufficiently.
Also facts.
Facts. Are you parenting?
Is there something wrong with that?
No, not at all.
Like, yeah.
No.
You're judging the fact that
you're looking for a mint? No,
No, I'm not looking for a mint, you jerk. Oh my God. I should have vetted you.
You should have. It's been long enough. You think it would have happened by now.
I know. Oh, I was like, what bell? It was my Nerf gun. I was like, what bell?
You had the Nerf gun just sitting right there on your desk?
I have. I shoot it around my cat when she starts scratching the carpet. I don't shoot my cat just for the
just
around like the sound of it near her like frightens. It's like the water bottle. Like I shoot it around.
It's more fun than the water bottle, it sounds like.
Well, when I'm sitting at my desk, because I have like 3 monitors, like it's a command center. I have like, can't just get up and go around.
Surprised you don't have like a sniper rifle sitting off to the side where you just kind of.
I love how you're deflecting. I love how.
Right, I know. I'm doing a pretty good job of it so far.
Are you though? Are you doing a good job of it?
I mean, as good as can be done when you're the other person on the other side. You're just like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Oh man. I think that the thing that comes, I've got a friend who 3D prints custom Nerf, the kind that can really put it out. See, I don't need to have a gun like that because me and my girls used to do Nerf gun wars, like legit wars. We would flip furniture over. We would have tack bags. Like it's a thing, Nerdy Will. Like me and my girls.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You think Nerf guns are for boys? No, me and my girls, and I used to like my best friend, she has a son and he likes Nerf guns too. And she had this balcony walkway and I would sit up and snipe him.
God, that is amazing.
And he would get so mad. Hey!
Yeah. Go watch 6.
I think that just as a for me personally, because I was dealing with my CPTSD, my anxious abandonment, my BPD, like all of that, I think it caused a very severe lack of vetting. It's just with most people in my life, period, end of story. Be it my employers, my friends, just people in general. And that's how you even get started in romantic relationships.
Yeah.
But I mean, and then it would always be like, I don't understand. Or maybe like, did you ever find yourself convincing yourself like maybe they'll change?
Oh yeah, all the time.
You saw the red flag. You saw the red flags. Yeah. You saw all this stuff in the beginning, but you're like, well, maybe they're just going through a bad day. Or like you were able to convince yourself.
Or you're like, they're having a bad day. They're having, or I can change them, or they'll change. This is not always, it's not always as big of a deal as it is. minimize it. That's a very common thing. Like, oh, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I can rationalize anything. Ugh.
Oh yeah. I mean, oh no, Sean's the king of rationalization.
Yeah, exactly. So ignore those flags. Yeah, they come back. They don't. Those flags don't go away. They just come back bigger and meaner and. Yeah.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
I mean, yours did come back bigger.
That's fair. And meaner. So. Oh my god.
Okay. All right. So okay, we
why,
ready to dig into
why
this?
does it matter? Why does it matter? Why does vetting matter?
Why does vetting matter? Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you don't, it'll come back and bite you.
Okay. Why skipping vetting can lead to toxic friendships, unhealthy relationships, or even getting scammed.
Oh yeah, yes. Oh, getting the scam one. That's a big deal, especially now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I think that here is where a lot of people, especially people with trauma, and I know I did this for myself, is that I mistook vetting. Vetting and protecting my peace and protecting myself and setting my boundaries. I mistook that as being pessimistic and being negative and being I can't even think of the word. It's on my but just being negative in general and bitter and just be like, oh well, I want to see the good in people. I want to see the good in people. And actually, the saying I used to say, especially in high school, was accept people for who they are, but treat them as they could be. What fucking bullshit, unhealthy motherfucking shit is that shit?
There's a lot of those things that come into our lives. These sayings that we were taught that are really actually toxic. They're problematic.
Yes. That's so fucking toxic. So toxic. And I was like very adamant about that saying. I was like, yeah, like I can accept you for who you are, all your scars and stuff, but I'm going to treat you as you can be, which is like setting up this whole expectation. Like that's not real. That's not sincere.
That's like hate the sin, love the sinner.
Yeah, that's horse shit.
Yeah, it's rationalizing. It's trying to separate out what they do from who they are. What you do long term is who you are.
Right.
So yeah, you're trying to like, well, that's and I think we didn't understand. I didn't understand what the impact that people would have. I think when I'm young, I don't realize I don't have the experience to realize it. So I don't understand that by allowing certain people close to me or into my life, the net impact it's going to have. But I also recall being told to be careful of who I hang around with. So, but I always took that as parents just being, whatever, being annoying.
But I think that it was just, yeah. I think it was one of those, we couldn't be negative. We couldn't meet anybody with that negative, thoughts. And we couldn't meet, we couldn't. It was...
Well...
Go ahead.
Well, as growing up Southern Baptist, growing up in the Christian faith, we were supposed to love people, love everybody, and so I took, when you love people, you want to see the best in people. You want to see you don't want to focus, quote unquote, focus on the negatives. You don't want to by pointing out that might be that's a red flag and it's not good for my mental health. That was interpreted as just being critical or being judgmental, as opposed to, hey, that's problematic.
Right.
Just didn't occur that
red
could be
flag! Red
yeah.
flag!
We're like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. They're just Yeah. So
They're what?
I was saying, they're misunderstand her. I could change them. Remember, I'm the white knight. I'm the
No
fixer.
one understands them. Yes, and then oh my god, shit.
It's blindly going into that, just believing that we can do something about it, we can change them, and not protecting ourselves. Like I don't think there was any. I don't think I had any concept of protecting myself, aside whew, the only protection that I recall was don't be friends with the gays because it'll rub off on you. That was the only. That's the only thing I can think of. Like when it comes to
man.
Yeah, I know that's all right. I guess I didn't follow that advice.
You know what? You and me together, we make 2 straight people.
Dude.
I'm sorry.
Oh
That was
my
an
God, that's
off-color
funny.
joke, but I mean.
But that was the one thing I think growing up in the church, the idea of protection was in the world, not of the world.
Facts, nerdy Will. Facts.
If you guys would rub off on everyone, we'd be
Facts.
yes.
Oh
You
my
are
god,
correct.
facts. So much facts.
God.
I would just like to, yeah. Oh, I can't turn my chair.
Maybe if they'd rubbed off on me, I would have realized I was by
We
sooner.
friendly here. We friendly here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Okay. So now that we've talked in general, we're gonna start really. And I
Narrowing it
purposely,
down.
yes, we're gonna start narrowing those guys. And I told, speaking of spicy things, I was like, there are 3 points of entry on this. We could go either way. And Sean was like,
Really?
I was like, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You
Go
know
with
what?
it. Just go with it. Yeah.
I mean, okay.
We're gonna do it one at a time.
Yeah, we are because there are different sections and it's all the same process, but it's a different in each the vetting in each category is very the outcome is very different. The intent is very different, though the results are the same, and the you are doing this to protect yourself and to put yourself in a good, healthy relationship with anyone. The intent is different. When you vet friends, is very different than when you vet somebody, a romantic partner or a spicy partner, and it's very different than when you just vet people in general, like coworkers, etc., so forth. Like, so I mean, it's all, but the intent is different. The actions are the same. So we're going to start with vetting our friends. I decided, like everybody thought, yes, we're going to start with our friendships, because those are actually, honestly, if you think about that, until you get married, and even when you get married, like your friendships are very. How many times have we heard in our lifetime? It's who you associate with. Birds of a feather flock together. Mm-hmm. Like, and that is very big. So it's like, okay, you need to make sure that you. How many times you and I, Sean, got into situations where we were with a bad group of friends that on the surface looked like a good group of friends, but in the reality was a very toxic, awful situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I know you and I are both thinking at least one that we weren't together.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, you don't listen to that stuff. It's, we think about it now and we're like, oh my God, that's important. Keep it, how close you let people get to you, the friends that you associate with and hang around with. When we were young, when I was young, it was like, it's not a big deal. Like, whatever. That's just stupid that's adult stuff. Like, that doesn't, I know who I'm friends with and they're fine.
Oh my God. The teenage 20s where some people in their 30s nowadays. Like, I know everything and I know, but I'm like,
I know who my friends are and they're good people and they wouldn't ever do something like that. Oh my God.
Or they may be doing questionable shit. That's not who they are deep down.
Yeah. That is as an adult, I'm like, oh my god, that was so. I had no idea the influence that people had on me. The friends that I made, the groups that I hung out with, it yeah, you can't get away from that. It's a
No.
reality that I refuse to accept as when I was young.
What? You refuse
I
to
know,
accept
right?
reality, Sean? Shut
What?
the
That's crazy.
front door.
I reject that and substitute my own.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I wonder if he regrets that phrase now. I wonder if he
That's such a good
does.
phrase, though.
It is a good phrase, but it's so mentally fucking unhealthy.
It is.
Like,
It is very. Yeah, it is very.
but here is the thing that I didn't get, that I didn't understand, honestly, until I was here. Seriously, until about 2 years ago, maybe a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be close with everyone. Everyone doesn't always have to have access to me. They don't have to always know what's going on in my life. They don't have to always know, and I don't have to take on everybody as a close friend.
That right there.
Right.
Sorry. Yeah. That.
But that's like the anxious attachment. That is like the abandonment issues. And that is where that stemmed from a lot, is that the more friends that I had, the better I felt about myself, the more I valued as an external validation of the more friends and people I knew that I considered a friend. But I considered them a friend. But did they consider me a friend? Did we talk about this? Or is this somebody I never expecting those expectations.
Yeah, I didn't understand the concept of circles, the circles of your friends. Like for me, it was it's just one big circle. It's one big. If you want to be a friend, come be a friend.
Pile it up.
Just come be a friend. And it wasn't even that I wanted to necessarily be their friend. It's that they wanted to be friends with me. So I'm like, oh, okay, just come on. Yeah, that's cool. Because you're right. Yeah. And the quantity certainly factor. Oh, I've got all these friends. I mean, it persists today. How many times has someone said, well, I've got this many followers. I've got this many friends on Facebook. I've got that, right? It's the quantity. There's this mindset, especially in youth, this mindset that quantity is the most important thing. But as an adult, I go, absolutely not. I want quality, absolutely focused on wanting quality. But back then, I was like, oh yeah, you want to be my friend? Come be my friend. But I didn't know how to.
Coworkers.
Oh, especially coworkers.
Because you spend 8 hours a day with coworkers.
You do.
Sometimes more. And you spend it, sometimes 5 days, 6 days a week, depending on. Mm-hmm. And yes, you can. I'm not saying that you can't develop genuine friendships outside of work, but so many times you consider coworkers your friends because you spend so much time with them. But how much do you actually know about your coworkers?
They are friends of opportunity or friends of situational. Most of the time, your work friends are your work. They're work people that you kind of know a little bit. And when your coworkers, when you started a new job, did you immediately get social media invites from them?
Oh fuck! I get social media invites now. I'm like, deny. I do not. I have honestly, if I'm being real honest, I have not. I purposely done that. I have purposely and I work in one where but you don't need to know my and clients have added me. I'm like, right? You don't need to know my life. I'm sorry, it's private for a reason, and I'm sorry.
I have LinkedIn. You want the professional? We have LinkedIn for that. I don't ever go to it, but I got LinkedIn for it. That's my spam email account.
Well, I really honestly now, because I don't I have a Facebook account just because I'm older, my parents or whatever. I'll add former on social media, not while they're my coworker, even though I don't post anything anyway. You'll get around it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a good rule. I mean, it depends. Like, I have actually made genuine friends that were coworkers that I still work with outside. If we're texting and actually having conversations and hanging out outside of work, okay, then you can have access to my social media because we're friends. We're actual friends. Like we actually, I mean, and there are, again, levels of friendship.
Levels.
They're not in the inner circle, but at least they're like beyond the, I see you 8 hours a week and I never speak to you again. Like that type of thing. But, I keep Facebook and so many of my clients add me on Facebook. I'm like, who? No.
I do. No. Like, this is, I don't know. What's funny is sometimes I forget the information that is on Facebook or the information that I put out there. And so like, oh, it's just Facebook. I haven't posted in a while or I haven't done that, but there's still a wealth of information that is on there, whether or not I posted recently or not, that these people are going to have access. No. That's why I rarely, especially if it's coworkers. No, I don't accept invites anymore because that is a level that I don't want them coming into that level. There are a few coworkers that I would consider friends, like you said, and those are fine. But otherwise, no, we're not fake. No, it's not happening. Not at all.
All right.
I don't need you seeing the stuff. Right?
All right, John, do you want to list signs of a good friend?
Oh, the signs of a good friend. Ooh.
Okay, there are 4 points.
Yeah.
All right, read them off to our audience. Signs of a good friend.
The first one? Okay, the first one, celebrating your success instead of competing. Oh, did that one hit hard when you read it? Why are you looking at me?
Repeat that one for the people in the back, John.
Yeah. They celebrate your success instead of competing. Are you looking at me or are you looking at the audience? I can't tell.
Oh, I'm looking fucking dead right at you.
What? No. Okay. We may be a scotch competitive. A little bit. It's fine. It's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. No, I think that's a big deal. It's important that you have friends that will look when you succeed, that they look at that as celebrating that success. You did. It's and I understand that it can be hard, especially if my friend got a promotion and I didn't, if my friend got successful and I didn't, and I had the opposite. Like, ooh, I understand.
You almost said failed.
Yes, I did, but I stopped. I didn't say it because I corrected myself. It wasn't a failure. I just didn't achieve the thing I wanted to achieve.
Good job. Words matter.
There you go. So where my friends achieve something and I don't achieve something, I know it can be really hard to celebrate that or to be happy for them. But to me, that's an important component of friendship, is going, they did something great. And I can accept that and congratulate that and celebrate that. And sometimes it's the small things to celebrate, not just the big things. But celebrate it.
Right.
It's the friends who make it about themselves that don't. That is problematic. So I'm watching you highlight stuff on the screen. Like, what is happening here?
Because he likes to. Yeah, we don't need to like get down into the weeds with all of these.
Okay.
Like, so
right.
yeah.
So the second one, a good friend respects your boundaries and don't guilt trip. Oh, respecting the boundaries. Yeah, that's a good. That's a good sign.
What you mean? This is how we love each other. Is what?
Yeah, what? You mean I can't coerce you into whatever it is that I want you to do? No, what?
What? You can't say like, oh, we respect your boundaries, but you need to get over yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm being petty. I'm sorry, I'm being a bit petty right now.
They hold space for you, but don't demand emotional labor. Ooh, what? I'm feeling. See, the problem by saying I feel targeted simply points out to everyone that this applies. I'm just telling myself when I say I did this, I feel targeted here.
He's a good friend, y'all. He really
Yeah.
is. I mean,
But I haven't always been a good friend.
Can you turn down your gain a little bit?
Turn it up or down?
Down. It's like it feels like it's blasting in my face, and
How about that?
I've been trying to turn you down a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
And it's like I keep trying.
Sometimes I creep up on my mic there. Is that better?
All right. Yes, that's better. Thanks.
Okay. So yeah, respect boundaries, don't guilt trip. They hold space for you, don't demand emotional labor. They're consistent, not just around when they need something. That's a big sign.
Yes, that is a big sign. And it's also, though, okay, because I've actually had a conversation with actually one of my friends about this. Mm-hmm. Consistency does not mean that they are always available. Consistency does not mean that they are always available whenever you are available.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
I want to make that very clear because I had that same fucking problem. I had the same problem for most of my life. Okay, well, they were texting and now they're not texting me at all. And the story, which this is my therapy phrase, the story that I am telling myself is they're being inconsistent. They're not making time for me. They don't care about me. When the reality is, like, for example, for me in my work right now, I'm working 80 hours a week. Okay. And that is between the months of February and April. And you know what? That's a lot. That's a lot for me. And okay, so maybe I just can text back, yeah, or okay, or whatever. It's because I've got to emotionally and mentally budget for myself. And I don't do that very well. I really don't. So I have to take care of myself first instead of like, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I can't do this thing or whatever. And okay, maybe I had said I would like to do that if I have time, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm completely committed to that. So just understanding that consistency is about how they approach you. It is the consistency on, are they consistently respecting your boundaries? Are they, when you honestly say, I am in a bad place, I need a friend, are they showing up for you? If they're consistent in how you two interact, that is what the consistency is. So many people, especially those with anxious attachment and abandonment issues, I myself included, this one, I got really targeted on this one because that they are not openly, honestly available to you at all times does not mean they're not being consistent. It just means that they have a life and they are busy. And you absolutely have the right to say, hey, I am feeling this way. We haven't talked a while. I'm feeling very distant. I understand that you're busy. Can we carve out some time? And maybe they can't carve out a lot of time, but they can carve out a little bit of time. That's consistency. Not, oh, you just show up whenever you want to and then you leave my life whenever you want to. Oh, okay. Is it whenever I want to or whenever you want me to?
Yeah. Because sometimes we don't have space. Sometimes they don't have space for whatever it is that we're requiring of them.
Right.
Because they also have to protect themselves. So I think that fits really well into the next one of when to reevaluate the friendship. I think it fits in very well. It's a good segue.
So go ahead, take us there.
All right. So the next one, if you constantly feel drained when interacting from them. Now there's always going to be there are points there. It's normal for there to be a point where you might feel somewhat drained.
Let's read all three of them. So because you do the ADD thing where you get into trying to explain everything. So let's read all the points and then we can talk about it.
Okay, when to reevaluate. So you constantly feel drained. There's always drama and negativity. You feel like you can't be yourself without judgment. Yeah, those three.
Pretty much most of my friendships up until most recently.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. This is. I feel that first one because you and I have had this conversation about that.
We
first
have both had this conversation. And I think, but here's the thing about that. And Sean and I have been friends for 20 plus years. Yes, this is where we're at, folks. We have been friends for 20 plus years, and that's okay. And we've learned a lot. We have seen each other through many seasons in our lives.
Yes.
But there's been times where we have both said to each other, "You are fucking draining me."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's one of those, like, when you care about somebody, you genuinely are a good friend with each other, you will stop. That phrase right there, "you are draining me," will stop you in your tracks and be like, fuck. Because that is the moment where you realize you start evaluating yourself. Now, there are levels. Now, there have been times where Sean has, and it's all like Sean has said to me, "You are being emotionally draining. I can't, like, I dread picking up the phone when you call." And I stopped and I was like, oh. And so then, again, at that point, when he said that, we still weren't in a phrase where we being absolutely honest with each other because, we were just starting our therapy work. So
that's correct.
Let me tell you, trial and error. And then fuck.
Yeah.
So, so he wasn't actually being honest about and setting his boundaries. So he was allowing me to drain him.
That's correct. I was. Yeah, I wasn't saying anything. I let it happen, and
so I had no idea I was draining him, and I'm like,
yeah, not until it came up in conversation, and it didn't come up as in like you needed something, and I said it. It was like we were talking about what was going on between within our friendship, and then I was like, and I admitted to you, I told you that there are times when you do this that it's absolutely draining to me, and I struggle to respond. Hey, Eric, yeah. So,
and there's been times where I've said that to Sean, and I think in the opposite is I've set my boundary, and it's like, okay, dude,
yeah, you've
got to do the heavy lifting. You've got to do some heavy lifting. You've got to do some work in this relationship. And that's where that comes in, is where he was draining me because the expectation was that I was doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And it's like, I can do that for a little bit when you're in a bad place. But if it becomes a consistent behavior, then we need to address it.
And that's what it had become, is I was consistently asking you to provide that validation, that emotional lifting for me. I was in a place where I was trying to identify and accept that I was having these emotions and having this struggle. And like, I was so focused on what was happening there and getting that and then conveying that I wasn't taking into account the impact it had on you when I did that.
Right.
And so you were like, so when you told me, I was. Oh, who followed?
Cosplay Zilla 21.
Oh, nice, thank you.
But I think in general, I think this is why vetting the people that in your inner circle. Now, okay, fun psychological fact. Okay, from here to 18 inches is called your personal space. That is your personal space. Okay. Then you have 18 inches to, I think it was, if I'm remembering this correctly, about 3 feet. That is your comfort zone. People can be in your comfort zone. They could be standing there. You're okay with that. And then you have the outside of that. So like, there are people, and if we're using that as friendships, that you can have people who you consider friends in your comfort zone that aren't in your personal space. But the people in your personal space, like, that's why it's really important to do the vetting. You can't just, like, they can't just, and people will move in and out. That's life. Life will happen. That's why it's called reevaluating. You're going to reevaluate. Maybe you're in a different place mentally and emotionally than you used to be when you first met. And that's okay. Maybe life got busy and you grew apart. Again, those are all normal things. They're not comfortable. They're not fun. But at times you have to be able to say, who's in my personal space? Who's in this same, that is right here, that is my ride or die? that if I'm calling at 4 a.m., they're the person I need to talk to. When I'm in an emotional mental crisis, who am I talking to? Who's that? Those are the people that you absolutely, just like in the spicy scene, you have to like thoroughly evaluate. And it is not them proving themselves. I'm doing air quotes all day today, but it's fine because I can't do bold, underline. I can't do all the I can't. So you get air quotes today, folks. It is not testing them. It is not them proving themselves. Yes. This is not vetting. Is not testing. Vetting is not them proving something to you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh God, that is a toxic. That's a red flag of yourself. If you feel the need to test and to make your the people around you prove themselves, because we're not saying that.
Reread the definition. Vetting is the process of observing, questioning, and evaluating. There is no such thing as testing somebody and having somebody prove themselves. Observation is just seeing the big fucking picture.
Yeah. In natural, normal circumstances, what happens when if you got to set up a whole test to figure it out, that's toxic. Whether it's a friendship or a relationship, significant romantic relationship, if you have to set up the test, no. Mm-mm.
I spent too much of my life proving myself to somebody.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Absolutely.
If I've got to prove myself to someone,
nope,
it's not worth it because they're already looking at me as a pass-fail. They're not looking at me as a person. They're not looking at our relationship as something that's organic and growing and that we're going to make mistakes and that we're going to have that communication. It's pass or fail. And they're also that person who's also going to make you prove yourself or test you means they're the type of person who's going to keep score.
And it's never a one time. Yeah.
I have been that person.
Mm-hmm.
I've been that friend. I've been that romantic partner. It's talk as fuck. And it's miserable for you because nobody ever sets your standards and they're always failing you.
And it never stops. It's never a one-time thing. It's a repeated. Whenever you get into a space, especially like if you're anxiously attached and you feel the need for them to prove themselves because that means that they love you. If they prove themselves, they care about you. That's you going, I need this, and here's how I'm going to do it. Here's how I'm going to get them to prove it. Happy Sunday. Yeah.
Happy Sunday. But yeah, and we've covered a lot of that in, and the person is like the person who only calls you when they need something or they need somebody to complain to. And then it's like they're always complaining. Nothing ever makes them happy. It's the same person who likes to talk about other people, but never about themselves. Like, here, let's do all of that. Like, even if it's humble bragging, it's like, what the fuck? You know, the friend who undermines you. And all I can think about in this one is the pick me girls and the pick me girls and the nice guys.
Oh, yeah.
Because we all have that friend who's like, I'm not like the other girls. And this goes with male and female friendships too. Like that's why I'm saying that's what comes to mind is because I have, if you look, 3 bards and a dragon, what is it? It is 3 males and a female. Like that's that is what that is. But it's one of those, I'm not like the other girls, and they're putting everybody down and they're trying to make themselves look better. And I'm like, that's not, and they're out to get you. Yeah. That's why I hate. This is why a lot of women say I hate female friendships, and it's not even that I hate female friendships because I adore female friendships. My best friend Blue Ellie, she's amazing, but it's never a competition with us. It is, I'm having a rough day, girl, you got this. And I like when she's having a rough day, I'm like, here's a list of all the things that I think you're amazing at. You know, that I'm not out to make myself look better than her and vice versa. Like it is a sustainable, what can I do to lift you up?
Yeah. That's a big point. The building up, the edifying each other, the making each other better, as opposed to tearing the other people down.
I spent too much of my life competing.
It's exhausting, isn't it?
It is. Because, fun fact, I am the black sheep. For those of you who are new here, I was raised as the black sheep of the family. Everything was my fault. So I spent a lot of my life, most of my life, my marriage, my relationships, my friendships, everything. I spent most of my life competing even with an invisible competitor, even with somebody, something, an expectation that didn't even really exist. And so everything was an enemy. They were competition. I had to be the better partner. I had to be the better friend. Like I had to be. So do you have siblings? I do have siblings. I had to be better because I had to prove myself. Everything. I had to prove myself that I was worthy. And that really negatively affected my friendships. Sean, you want to weigh in on that one?
As the golden child, I had to be perfect, so I had to prove myself, but in a different way. Like I couldn't have flaws. Mine was making sure that I was. So I learned that if I didn't do it, I couldn't fail at it. I could maintain my golden status if I just didn't attempt it. So I wouldn't do anything unless I knew I could be successful. And I say that in past tense, and let me correct myself. I still struggle with that today. If I don't know for 100% that I'm going to be good at it, I struggle to do it. Because I feel this self-worth. Like if I can't do something well, I fail. That's why when you pointed out the word fail earlier, that's one thing that I struggle, that I'm working to remove, is just because I didn't do something well doesn't mean I failed at it. And I can't be, I shouldn't expect myself to be perfect at everything and do everything well. So when it comes to my friends and doing something, if I can't do something really, really well and be great at it, I don't want them to see that. I will do something in the privacy of my own home. Like I will practice something so that when the time comes to do it in front of other people.
Y'all, let me tell you about the first time Sean ever streamed on camera. Okay, let me tell you about this. So he was our producer for the long time in our old streaming network, PSBN. And so he was our producer. So one time and back then we had a middle of the week podcast. It was a comedy podcast, and we were doing anger interpreters. And so Sean, we needed a sixth person. And because there was 5 of us, so we needed a 6%. And Sean had the perfect personality to pair Sean and Jay up. But you can't imagine 2 polar opposites, right? Sean literally, before he went on stream, went and had a 3-page document of every single room and of what he would talk about, what everything. Like he was so he's like, I can't look like an idiot. He changed shirts 3 different. He practiced and and this was an improv show. This was were just, the rest of us were just going off of just we just talk because that's the way we were.
Just show up and
he had a 3-page document of highlights that he needed to and practice.
Things that I could say, phrases, sentences, things that sounded. Oh, I was so scripted.
It was funny. It was actually a pretty good episode, but
it was a terrific episode. But yeah, I could not show up and look stupid. I was so afraid to show up and look stupid.
But how was that? I mean, in putting that out, because in that same aspect, I was very worried about being a perfectionist and coming off looking perfect. I how many is the Arugs character, where it's very put together and all that. How is that in our environment? The people that we were, and now we loved the people that we were streaming with. Don't get us wrong. We loved the BSBN and the people in them, but it was just it somehow, some way, at some point, it got so negative that we were afraid to mess up. We were afraid to make mistakes or deviate from our characters and all of that stuff.
That's it.
We weren't able to bring it up.
We found ourselves in a box. by some choices that we made and things that we allowed to happen, we found ourselves in a box. And I think, but at the same time that we found ourselves in a box, we felt like we couldn't get out of that box.
Yeah.
Every time we tried to move beyond that box, something was said to try to push us back into it.
And that goes with the last one, when you feel like you can't be yourself without judgment. And we sat in that for years. Years. Now, there were some positive parts about it. 3-page manuscript.
No, that's a good point. But even with the start, even with this podcast, I did the same thing with this podcast. When we first started, I scripted out everything. Like I had the outline and everything.
And we now have an outline because Sean and I both have realized we're ADD and we have a tendency to do this. We do. If you can't tell, like we're only in our first section of 3 and it's already been 15 minutes. But in that it's not as scripted as he used to have it. Like it was like literally he would write it out, things to say, everything. And so now it's more comfortable. But we did have to evaluate that. We had to, and I think all of us, we reset, and we're like, okay, this is not okay. This is not okay. And it's okay to say that. And I think it's hard. I think it's hard when you've let somebody in your personal space, in your inner circle for so long to go, I've got to let it go. Something's got to change.
To say I am not that person. I am not that person that the other person or people perceive me to be.
Yeah.
That's difficult because they may have difficulty. They're like, well, I thought I knew you, or this is what I thought. No, this is what you created. This is the idea that you created, but I'm not that idea.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a little, we have to take it. That's putting the blame on them, that we have to take that in the friendships and any relationships. We also have to take responsibility with what did we allow them to see? If we like in that whole point, we felt like we couldn't be ourselves, and you can't be yourself with somebody you consider a friend for fear of anything. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that there are people, again, that aren't in your personal space, but there is a difference between, and that's why vetting is so important when you allow somebody in your intimate space. You know?
Yeah. Hey, Paragon.
Yay, 22 months. I know.
Nice.
Hey, Paragon. So, yeah, I mean, but vetting is that part. It's and evaluating yourself. Like, let's talk about like the vetting part of it in any type, we're doing this in friendships right now, but the vetting part of it and evaluating who you are as a person. And that will change and that will grow. And are they changing and growing with you? Are they accepting and loving you for your change and your growth when they are setting boundaries, or they're changing their boundaries, or they're changing their expectations, or their needs? Because we are human, and we're in this mental health journey. If sometimes just life throws you shit. Life throws you shit and it hits you in the face. And one of you reading from a script like Sean. That would be Sean. That would be 100% me. Right? Yeah. Half the time I didn't have a script, and even if I did have a script, I never used it. I never used. Oh yeah. Verbatim.
I had a dissertation ready to go.
But that's the thing is that person, those people. That's why vetting is so important. Is this person respecting my growth, and is this person respecting my change? Is this person helping me grow? Is this person seeing me as a fucking complete hot mess? And these are a lot of the questions. I'm just telling you all of the questions that I use to evaluate my friendships, be it in my just friends, be it my intimate space friends, like my inner circle friends. Is this person encouraging me to grow? Is this person able to bring something up to me, and I'm able to bring something up that is uncomfortable, unpleasant, Maybe we can get angry or sad or mad at each other. And are we able to have, now I'm not saying that the conflict is going to be the super perfect healthy, but are we able to have this conversation and move forward from it? Not sit in it, not keep score from each other. Are we sitting here going, we had a disagreement, we had an argument, we were angry at each other, we were mad at each other, we were whatever. We may have called each other a stupid motherfucker and like, I don't want to speak to you for the next 2 days. But are we able to come back after we're done being triggered and all this stuff going, okay, can we talk about this? And you get to it, even though it's uncomfortable, and you move forward from it. Because I let too many people in my life where I could not say, you are hurting me. You are asking too much of me. Mm-hmm. You are requiring as a friend, or you are requiring too much that I can't give, and I could not say anything. And that's when I went, you know what? Then they don't have the right to me. And it's hard and it's sad. And sometimes, especially if you've been friends for a super long time, if you do that vetting process and you actually go down that list, you start actually weeding people out. And you're like, fuck. It's hard.
Vetting people is allowing, it's the observation and allowing people, it's making the choice to allow people to at a certain distance. What it's not is letting the other person decide that. And I think that's a sign of the healthiness or the toxicity of the friendship is, can they accept the level at which you are okay with? Because it may not align with the level that they want to be at. I'm not talking about, and I'm not talking about necessarily romantic relationships. I'm talking about just friendships.
Because so many people want to be your best friends. They want to, why don't you? Oh my God. If I had $1 for every time I heard somebody go, you need to be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable with me. Yes, I'm aware it's okay for me to be vulnerable with you. You are not in that place where I want to be vulnerable with you. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm. And can they accept the level at which you want them to be? So like, I want you to be vulnerable. And like, nope, that's not where we're at. And can they accept that? Or you don't text me anymore. We don't talk anymore. We don't this. And they're demanding. I know. I'm not talking about myself.
No, there's a name. There's a name I have forgotten that is associated with you that I know that is like just popped up in my head when you said that.
Oh yeah. And that can happen. And that can happen with growth too. Is the person wants other people want a certain level of access that you are just not ready, or a certain amount of energy bandwidth that you just don't have, whether it's temporarily or long term.
Vetting people is not being cynical. That was the word I was looking for. It's not being cynical.
Cynical. Okay.
It's not being cynical or judgmental. It is not. Vetting people, just like when in spicy time, vetting people, especially with friendships, vetting people is necessary for your mental and emotional safety. And that's okay. It is okay. That's not you being cynical. That's you setting boundaries. Vetting is setting boundaries. Vetting is going, is this person going, do they align? Are they going to help me grow, or are they going to hurt me? And that's okay. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact. It's like vetting is like a job interview with a 3-month, with a 3-month trial period. You know what I mean? Like, I could be a mechanic. I'm great with customer service. I know how to drive a car and a thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not, maybe I'm not skilled for the job of actually like being the mechanic.
I saw you in Car Mechanic Simulator. It's fine.
No, this is simple. I watched it the other day. That was so funny. But I can probably work in a mechanic shop. Mm-hmm. I could do the front desk stuff. I can learn. I mean, and that's the way it is with friendships. Like, okay, maybe this isn't where we need to be in a friendship, and that's okay. This person, I'm going to keep them right here. For me, this is my job, regardless of what they want. If they want me to be in their personal, intimate circle, mm-hmm. That's fine. Oh, Eric.
Oh, there is.
Oh.
And we played it.
You should actually. I think that there's a clip on the Team AOA channel of we played it for our charity stream.
Yeah, back in November, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It's funny.
We about gave Jay and Calvino an aneurysm, bless their hearts. So
yeah, it was good.
Yes, we raised money for the follow-on mission, and they are for Veterans Day. We always do a Veterans Day charity stream, and they are amazing people, and they do play.
I mean, Jay's got a point.
Fair. Jay was like, he literally was like, he's at work. He's like, just give it to me. But the follow-on mission, we actually had a friend of ours, Brandon, who he's a vet. They help vets with adrenaline therapy, and they actually run races, and they're amazing people. And so all of our stream is car themed, was racing car themed, and it was pretty much exactly how you expect. 6 of us disaster racing just pretty much the entire day. So
yeah, and we ended it with Jay and Calvino teaching us how to
the car mechanic simulator. I had not laughed that hard ever.
That was good.
But betting is not being cynical, and that's okay. It's okay.
I think that's what I somewhere along the line growing up, that's the perception I got, was being cynical. Like, it was by setting a boundary, by identifying these things, identifying flags. It was being cynical or being mean or being not giving them a chance. Or
well, it's because we were raised Christian. We were raised to save everyone. We were raised to see patient. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is all of that bull. Love sees no wrongdoing. And you think to yourself, I love this fucking person. They're my friend. I love them. I want to see the fucking best in them. And if I sit here and go, you are not good for me, you are influencing me in a negative way, you are making me feel used, and you are making me feel bad, and you are making me feel uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form, and not just occasionally, but as a consistent behavior, that's not me being cynical.
Is it possible that the reason we thought that was okay is because our friends in the church made us feel that way, so we just assumed that it was okay for everyone else to make us feel that way? Yeah, you're looking for the you look like you're looking for the note button. Oh god. Oh,
I don't have any more coffee. Fuck it. I was like, I'll drink my water like a good girl.
I've got a cup. I don't know whether there's coffee in it.
But vetting is important. And I think those and it doesn't have to be a huge interrogation process. It can vet, and you are constantly vetting. You constantly need to vet.
Yeah, it's not a one-time thing. No,
it is a constant evaluation. So, all right.
Oh God!
Now that we've talked an hour on just vetting friendships, which is fine because we were talking about vetting is not just for the spicy time, but
that's also the majority of our relationships are most likely
our friendships. Yes,
so those are a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been a great podcast, folks. We'll see you later.
Okay,
right.
I'll run. You know what? I'll head up this one so that Sean doesn't get too deep into it, because he'll deflect and he'll get deep into it, and he wants to. So the next session is vetting in romantic partners. Signs you are moving too fast. Thanks, Logan. Thanks for that. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. Logan's great.
Okay, so I'm gonna go down, and I want to get your opinion. Okay. I want to get your opinion, John. Are you ready? Okay. So, signs you are not vetting enough in romantic relationships.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
All right. 1, you overlook red flags because of attraction.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
2, you future fantasize before really knowing the person.
Well, yeah. We're gonna have beautiful babies.
If I had $1 for every time somebody actually said that to me, you're somebody I could see the rest of my life with. Dude, we're on date number 1.
I don't know if I can see the next 5 minutes with you, so back off.
And then the percentage goes up after like date 2 or 3. So I'm like, just because I'm not a piece of trash and I don't treat you like garbage, that does not mean that like so many people, it's like just because I'm nice to them means that they are marriage material. You know what? I know I'm fabulous, but that like the whole timeout.
Yeah. Yep.
And then last one, and you ignore your gut feelings because they check a few superficial boxes.
because they're pretty and they let me touch them.
Oh my God, somebody clip that shit. That was pure gold.
That's the super. Yeah, that's it right there. I heard someone say that when we like the first date in the beginning of a relationship, we are projecting ourselves onto the other person. The reason it's so easy for us to fall in love or to get that warm butterfly, that fuzzy feeling, is because we're actually projecting ourselves. We're seeing ourselves and what we want on them reflected back, and that's not real at all. Yeah.
But I have like I have an issue with like the people with they check all the boxes. Mm-hmm. Because here's the reality, and I'm and as somebody who actually checked all the boxes, I have been in relationships, serious relationships, where I was the person that checked all the boxes. But so it wasn't the fact that I was me. And if I even deviated from anything, if like life happened or whatever happened, if I deviated from anything on their expectation list, it was a disaster. Mm-hmm. You're not the person I started, we were when we started dating. I sure as to hope the fuck I'm not.
Yeah. To me, that's a bit of a toxic phrase. Well, you're not who you used to be. Yeah.
Thank you. Like,
exactly.
Thanks. Thank you. I mean, like people take that as a negative phrase, and I'm like, thanks. That means I've changed, and change is good. I've grown. We've become comfortable with each other. Our relationship. Yeah. I can fart in front of you now. Like, look at that.
That's an important step.
Yeah, and like think about all the times that people, when you first start dating somebody, and
thanks very well.
Thanks very well.
Fantastic.
Because they're attractive, and you lose weight, you put on the makeup, or you wear the nice clothes, or you put away all the, say Sean, maybe put away all the Legos, or maybe you don't talk about Firefly that much, or whatever. You downplay or hide those things, and all of a sudden you get into that relationship where like then all of a sudden they're not dressing up for you because you assume that, and you're like, well, you don't dress up for me anymore. Well, okay. Was your expectation of me to look the same for the entirety of our relationship? Because I'm sorry about that. I'm not. That's not happening. Is your expectation for me to stay in a size 4? Because shit, I haven't seen a size 4 since 6th grade. So,
yeah, it's the expectations that are thrust upon you based upon, like, especially the initial meet and greet.
I need you to talk about the ignore your gut feelings because they checked a few superficial boxes, Sean. Gonna need that. And future fantasizing.
Okay. Your gut is your gut. And there's a reason your gut's saying something.
And it does not mean you've eaten bad cheese.
Hopefully it doesn't, yeah. it's easy to get wrapped up in the superficial. It's easy to get wrapped up in what's presented to you. That's what a lot of it's like first dates. It's what they pretty much are. Or I'm going to try to show you this shiny, polished version of me so that you appreciate, so that you like it. But that's not reality. And so part of it, I think, is on us for trying to polish up everything and show something that's not really who we are. And some of it is not willing to see that, okay, this is not exactly who that's where the vetting continuously comes in. So gut feeling, that's where our marriage came from. The superficial boxes are easily checked. And for me, I think a lot of it came down to self-worth. It was easy to check boxes because I had a low self-worth. It was easy to check the superficial boxes because I wanted the boxes to be checked. I wanted, yeah, I
That's a
wanted,
big influencer. Not because they are who they are. It's because you want them to exist, and that's where a
Mhm.
lot of people, when they get it becomes difficult.
Yeah, I wanted it to I wanted it to be the case. I wanted someone to make me feel better about myself. So it was easy to check boxes. It was easy to ignore gut feelings, to rationalize them, to go, "Oh, that's not a big deal." It's that for me. That was the main. That's the thing that I've struggled with for so long is minimizing those cautions, minimizing those flags, not giving them, not actually considering them and going, okay, what does this mean? Is this is a flag? What does this mean for me? What does this mean? Like, and evaluating it. There was no evaluation. It was just like, ooh, I feel this way. They give me butterflies. Butterflies are the most dangerous things you have. That is such a horrible thing. And some people chase them. That was that. So
Butterflies is actually trauma response.
yeah.
Yeah, it is actually. Having butterflies, somebody gives you butterflies.
Yeah.
Somebody who is healthy, like, yes, you can have that attraction and that glow, but there's a
Yeah.
difference between that and just the pit in your stomach. Somebody who is like that makes you feel safe. That it's the calm. It's the calm that you need to look for. It's and so many people interpret that as they're boring. Are they boring, or are they just not making that adrenaline, serotonin, trauma response? Like, are they not triggering the dopamine chemicals, or are they, you're sitting there, you're talking with them for hours and it's just easy and it's comfortable and you're around them and you feel safe and comfortable around them. So many people are like, well, they're just boring. It's boring. They're boring. I don't have any physical attraction to them. Are you not physically attracted to them, or are you just not getting your trauma response set off? And that's okay. If you're not physically attractive to them, that's fine. But if you're constantly looking, which is why, Sean, I'm just saying this about your ex, which is why they chase they're in love with being in love. They like the dating part of it. They don't like the relationship part of it, because the part of it is that's why you often have to, and that's why you have to be very careful about and why you're constantly, especially in the first 3 months. That's why the 3-month rule, actually, if you don't know about the 3-month rule in social media, the 3-month rule is basically vetting. And so many people they just say it as the 3-month rule because it's easier on social media. But the 3-month rule of you're not any type of physical activity. I mean, other than kissing with them, like no heavy petting, none of that until the 3 months, because it's vetting. It's vetting. Yeah. It's 3 months of vetting. Are you in this? Are you triggering me in some way? Are you interested in me for me? It's one of those. That's vetting. It is vetting, and so many people don't see it that way. There's just like the 3-month rule, trying to, but it is the essentially vetting. But when you have that, if you're constantly chasing the first date jitters and they make me feel all tingly inside, versus now there are the nice guys who you feel safe with that are still toxic. So that's why you have to be very careful. Like, again, I'm not a professional. I just know my personal experience. But it's when you're constantly chasing my partner doesn't give me the butterflies anymore. My partner doesn't like rock my world. My partner doesn't do this anymore. So they instantly go chasing the dopamine and chasing the butterflies. It's like chasing the dragon, It's like
yeah. That is absolutely a thing. And that's
and you have to vet. That's why the 3-month rule, I personally put it in the 3-month rule. Is like, no, 3-month rule, done. If you don't like it, then you're telling. And if the person bucks against that, then you're already telling me everything. I need to know about that.
Yeah, exactly. That answers that makes it really easy for you. My ex's therapist told her that she was addicted to that because she went through, near the end of our marriage, she went through a whole bunch of meeting new people and like becoming getting close to a bunch of new people. It was because and it being like one after another after another after another after another. It's like, because you're chasing that feeling, that butterflies feeling. You're looking for this and you're chasing it, and as soon as it ends, you're looking for the next one. So the butterflies is actually is a bad, as you said, it's not a good thing. It's not what you want. And so
I'm not saying if you have the butterflies that is the thing, because yes, like biologically, you're going to be attracted to somebody. They're going to tip off your dopamine and serotonin, and they're going to tip off that whole feel good feeling. But it's a different type of feeling. For those of you who have been with somebody who's been very much in love and you've loved them and you really genuinely love them, you know that that feeling of depth and warmth of that relationship feels different than the ones of, they like me, attracted, let's flirt with them, like I wonder if they like me, like that it feels different, and it hits different.
You talk about the struggle that I've realized that I've had in mine is, so you're talking about wanting to feel safe, the other person making you feel safe. For me, it's triggering the white knight. That's what I've learned is my problem, is the struggle that I have.
Explain.
So as I said before, I'm a recovering white knight. So I've realized recently that I seek out the people who need something fixed. The people who are, one, unavailable in some way, emotionally, physically, whatever, and have a problem for me to solve.
Facts, Eric. Absolutely.
Yeah. So for me, it's a problem to solve. So I want, if someone trips that protection, that trigger in me that goes, I can protect them, I can fix them, I can fix something, that I can fix their problem, I can be productive, I can make them feel safe. That's what I've learned I have to be careful about, is am I interested in them because I'm interested in who they are, or am I attracted to them, interested in them because it satisfies that need that I have, that to be needed, to fix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I want to get to the last one,
Okay.
the last section, but I'm going to read this, and I just want to sort of put this out there. So, red flags in romantic partners. Oh, thanks, Nev. Yeah, I was feeling like garbage last week. I was still testing positive last week. They need to be needed.
Eric, yeah, that is a big problem. That's something that I work on.
And it's very much, I also had the same thing. I needed to be wanted. And it like we had it meant that they cared about me if they needed me.
Yes. Same thing. If I was needed, I felt like I had a place. I felt I was secure in the relationship if I was needed. It's when I felt like I wasn't needed anymore that I felt insecure about the relationship. And then I would go trying to seek out that.
Or create the problem to have a problem to fix. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Sean and I are both self-sabotagers, so we're good. We're pros at it, so it's fine. But here, okay, so we know the red flags. Like everybody's red flags for romantic relationship different. But I wanted to talk about this green flag section when you're vetting somebody, when you're like, whatever. Because this is really interesting to me, because so many times we talk about red flags that we often ignore the green flags, the positive parts of it, that it's our nature, especially those who are traumatized, to lean towards the negative. We're seeing all of the red flags, but we're ignoring all the green flags. And sometimes we're trying to make the red flags green flags, and that's not how that works. But
no.
We try. Valiant effort. We do try.
Oh, yeah.
But they read his book. We're like, we're colorblind. It's all gray.
It's not. Yeah.
It's fine.
I can diet. I can fix it. I can make it better.
But the green flags: consistency, mutual respect, self-awareness. Self-awareness is a big one. They take accountability for their mistakes. That's a big one for me. I will take accountability for mine, but don't over here. And that's a big one. If you can't sit here and stop for a second and go, okay, what can I do? What am I doing? Maybe not take on, you don't have to take on the blame, but you do have to be accountable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Emotional maturity.
Ooh.
Growth mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Are they willing to work on themselves? And here's the key takeaway that just hit me. Yeah. You don't just want to look for the absence of red flags. You need to look for active green flags.
Ooh,
and I think that in vetting, just in general, be it your friends, red flag, we all the friends, all this stuff. We are constantly looking for the red flags, and everybody has them. We all are red flags in some way, shape, or form, in some capacity. But maybe they have 2 or 3 red flags. What if they have 6 or 7 green ones?
Yeah. And not all flags are created equal. Not all flags are the same size. So if we think we all, especially when we're young, I often think I can change that. I can change that flag. You can't change it. We're never going to change. We are not changing their flag. Can I honestly live with it? Live with whatever that thing is. They have an obsession with Legos. Is that, some people will say that's a red flag.
Some people say that's a beige flag.
Some people say it's beige. Some people might say it's a green flag. But like, if someone's looking at me, yeah, exactly. Someone's looking at me and going, they have to decide that, can they be honest with themselves and go, how big of a deal is this?
Because to some people, you're obsessed with Legos and gaming and podcasting. Mm-hmm. We exchanging banners, pennants, and tapestries. I love it. But see that, they see my background, they see what I'm into, and they're like, why are you acting like, or my obsession with dragons? Okay. You're so childish. Grow up and act your age.
That's the dude running through the field with the red flag. Okay.
Well, I mean, but to some people, that is me. That's me being, that's a red flag to them, and they have a different expectation of a partner. Yeah. But it's a green flag to somebody else, and that's okay. That's why vetting is fucking important. Be it your friendships or in any type of relationship, why vetting is important. That's why evaluating and understanding. Okay, and this person be like, constantly criticizing you for it. Okay, well, you're criticizing for it, and you know what? This is just who I am. And if you don't like it, then that's fine. Then we just don't need to talk anymore, or don't need to hang out anymore. Or maybe you just need to find another friend to hang out with, or because this is not going to change. This is who I am. It's not going to change.
Yeah, and I shouldn't go in. I can't go into it thinking, well, I can minimize I can. That's something I have to be aware of. Is I'm not going to minimize who I am. I like this, and it's okay for me to like this. Like the moment I feel that I have to downplay something, I have to downplay what I like, downplay what I appreciate. That's a problem. If I've got to hide my Lego set, nah, nah, that's a problem.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's like if they, an example of looking for active green flags and not the absence of one, say for like a red flag. Like a red flag is like they I don't know what's a major red flag for me. I can just
I can tell you what's a major red flag for you.
What?
I think would be a major red flag for you. Criticisms of things that you enjoy.
Well, yeah. I mean, that is a major red flag.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I have one where they are always defensive. Like a big red flag.
What?
That was not targeted at you, but that is a red flag for me. Look at how I look at your face. You're like, what the fuck? Where they're always defensive. Okay, that's a red flag to me because it's frustrating for me whenever I try to bring something up that they're defensive. But the green flag, the active green flag, is they're defensive because they're working on their trauma. They are, taking in account, like they are kind and all this stuff, and maybe they're defensive, maybe they don't realize they're defensive, but it's making sure that they balance. Like, everybody's gonna have the red flag, but like you said, is it something that I can accept? Is it something that they're working on? Is it something that we can work on together? Is it something that is not enough that it's going to hurt me and violate my boundaries? That's vetting. And it's okay to be 3 years into a marriage or a relationship or whatever, or a friendship, and 3 years gone because you grow and you change and you evolve, and you're like, maybe their green flags did turn into red flags for me, or maybe it's just gotten to this time where that's why vetting is important.
I like the looking for green flags. I think we're so quick to go. Our red flags often show how we've been hurt. So I can't, like, think about dating profiles. I don't want a person who does this. I don't want a person who does that. We're so quick to say, I don't want a person who does these things. Here are all of the red flags, which I've heard someone say, well, that just tells people how you've been hurt. Instead.
Oh shit!
Yeah, right. That's how I reacted when I heard it. I was like, "Whoa!" Instead, it's what am I looking for? Yeah, I'm looking. This is what I want. These are the green flags that I'm looking for, and that comes off very different. A profile that goes, "I want someone who is like this," comes off very different than I want a person who never does this, and if you do this, then we can't be apart. It's very different mindset.
But I think also that, like, I there's a difference between I want a person versus I need people like these. And underlying it all, I know that what I need in friendships and romantic relationships are the same. Period.
Yeah.
What you need is very different than what you want.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And I think that's also, you have to, when you are vetting people in your life and who to move in your inner circle, outer circle, romantic circle, whatever, are they meeting your needs or are they giving you what you want?
Ooh.
And that's a question to ask yourself, because they could be giving you what you want but not providing what you need. And sometimes what you need isn't pleasant. Sometimes what you need is somebody to go, you are being a bitch. What is going on? Sometimes you need somebody who's going to enforce their boundaries and not let you run all over them.
Yeah.
What you need is somebody to tell you no. You need somebody to tell you when you are hurting other people, when your behaviors, your actions, maybe your thought process is hurting them or hurting other people or maybe whatever. Do you have to accept that? No, but that's something that you need. You need people in your life who are going to be honest with you. And sometimes honesty is not pleasant. A lot of people want honesty. They don't like it.
Good point.
But sometimes people, that's why love bombing is so easy for people, because the love bomber can give you what you want. Mm-hmm. And never, not once, give you what you need.
Yeah.
That is why vetting people in your life, and you can be from narcissist and all this stuff, that you can have narcissistic friends, not just narcissistic romantic partners. Mm-hmm. They can give you what you want, but not ever what you need.
And then criticize you when you ask for what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ooh. That's, oh man. The blurriness between wants and needs. Oh. Yeah, that's hit me hard. It's I need this, but I struggle with saying what I need. I struggle with conveying what I need in relationships and friendships. I have said before what I need, and then been met with, but I give you what you want. The reason they shouldn't have to give me what I need is because they're giving me these things that I wanted. I need this, but I did all these things for you. Oh, ooh, whew. Wow, that one hit hard.
Yeah, it hits me hard all the time.
Wow.
And that's what I mean. It's why it's important to constantly be evaluating, and not just be evaluating as in like it's a constant, but you have to understand that relationships change. And I say that all the time. Relationships change, romantic, friendships, all that stuff, all that. And it's okay to do a checkup every now and then. It's okay to do the checkup. It's okay to vet somebody and go, is this friendship, are we okay? Are we in a good place? It's just like you would with your car. You take it in, you get the checkup, or you should. Again, you should.
Yeah.
You know, is it healthy? Does it need maintenance? I mean, because everything needs maintenance. And that's what vetting is when you're in an established friendship or relationship. Vetting is maintenance. Are they giving me what I need? Am I expressing what I need? Do I want something? Has something changed? Has something changed in them? Has something changed in me? Is something that I need to talk about? It's not questioning, is this relationship like going to sustain the test of time? It is this relationship healthy? That's what vetting is. Is this relationship is this person are we in a healthy relationship? And things would be good. Yes, and you don't know how many, I have actually come up with how many times, Nerdy Will, how so many vanilla relationships and and monogamous relationships, strictly monogamous relationships, could benefit from the expectations of non-monogamous and spicy relationships. Because in spicy non-monogamous relationships, there's communications, there's openness, there's acceptance, there's honesty. There has to be. Now, are there unhealthy ones? Absolutely. But I mean, in that, you can take those things and still apply it into monogamous vanilla relationships. It's just healthy communication, healthy expectations. Vetting equals maintenance. Am I healthy? Am I in healthy relationships? That's all it is. It's not being judgmental. You're not being judgy. You're just taking into account What's the status? What's my status?
And being honest with myself as to the response.
That.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking because I rationalize things, and so that's been a thing for me
awkward
recently.
Silence. You're like,
yeah, that's the thing with me, is being honest with myself as to where I'm at, and where I feel where I'm at and what I need.
Versus what you want.
Versus what I want, because I am quick to go, well, that's not a big deal.
But at the same time, maybe what you need isn't necessarily what you want, and you try to force it into something you need.
Sure.
What if you need to be single for a little bit? I want to not be single. I want to be in a healthy, happy relationship where, it's all this stuff. But what if what I need right now is to have a good relationship with myself?
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that. I've said that to my therapist.
Which means putting any type of romantic relationship on hold. Maybe I feel romantically towards this person. Maybe I do. But the reality is this is what I need. Even though I don't want it.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't like it. But it's what I need.
Yeah. I'm being honest about that.
And honestly, if you look towards social media and look toward everything else, you can rationalize anything. Well, you don't necessarily have to be single to fix yourself. Yeah, that's true in some aspects, but there's other aspects that you probably do need to be single. Because that way you don't end up hurting yourself, traumatizing yourself more and traumatizing the other person.
See, that's my fear about jumping in a relationship, is like, I'm afraid that I'm going to just repeat past behavior.
But I think somewhere, I know personally for me, it's setting up those, like vetting, the 3-month rule, or setting up like being able to say these things. It's markers for me. Like, yeah, I'm not going to be completely fixed when I'm not going to be completely fixed. That's not possible, because some of the things I'm going to have to fix, and I'm going to have to come face to face with when in a relationship, and that's okay. But there's a foundation that I need to fix. And sometimes you got to tear down the walls to fix the foundation, and then you can build the walls back up. And sometimes that foundation, self-worth, am I able to hold healthy boundaries just as friends? Am I able to express myself and in a healthy way? Am I able to listen and hear other people when they have something to say about me negatively? Those are things that don't require a relationship, that require that build that foundation. Because if you don't solidify that part in yourself, getting in a relationship is just going to cause the foundation to crumble even more. Because it's trying to fix the foundation while you've got all your shit in your house.
Yeah. I've had the same conversation. I've had the same conversation with my therapist. I want to fix all these. I want to fix these things. These things are important to me. But then there are things I can't fix because I'm not in a relationship. So, like, it's kind of like finding where that balance is. And I told and that's what I've told my last couple therapists, is like, I feel like there are things that I need right now. I need to focus on myself, because I've spent so many years focused on not myself, and being able to express myself. So
okay, now Sean, I think I sent you this one via Instagram, but I'm gonna put this come around and end this with, speaking of pouring into ourselves, and it comes up on my Instagram. Somebody's like, well, my therapist really called me to the carpet because my favorite Bible verse is whatever the Bible verse is about, my cup runneth over, right? And he's like, I just spend all my time pouring myself into other people and keep pouring myself into other people. And when it comes time to pour into myself, I'm just exhausted and tired and I don't have the energy. And the therapist said to him, well, because you're doing it wrong. Because the reality is it says nothing about pouring into other people. It says your cup runneth over. So the reality is you need to pour into yourself and they catch the overflow.
Ooh,
because your cup runneth over.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I like that.
So I feel like that's the same thing with, all of that. I mean, that's random. I know we're talking about vetting and evaluating, but that's something that you also have to evaluate in yourself too.
Yeah.
Is this person requiring me to pour into them more than I am pouring into myself? That's a big one for me. And am I expecting them to pour more into me than I am themselves? You have to do it both ways. You have to take self-evaluation. You have to vet yourself. Am I being a good friend? Am I being a good partner? That is wholly important. That is wholly important for a healthy relationship, because not only are you asking yourself, are they doing the things that I need? Are they requiring? Am I doing the things? Am I evaluating all this stuff? So you have to really, 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 really evaluate. Am I expecting them to pour more into me than I am pouring into them, and vice versa? That's vetting.
Yeah. Am I pouring into them because I'm expecting them to pour into me?
Mm-hmm. I mean, in kinky relationships, that's a totally different thing. But I mean, that's a totally different podcast. I love how we say that. I love how we say that, and the podcast doesn't exist anymore.
It will one day. One day it might happen.
I'm trying to get you and Jay all in the same, so we can do it together. We talked about it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
We keep saying we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. It's gonna happen.
It's fine. Honestly, speaking of friendships and vetting, I mean, Sean, you and I both, like we had talked about before, like we had to make some hard choices. You and I both did in our friendship, and evaluate where we are. And we've been friends for 20 plus years with a 15-year hiatus. The long pause.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, we've been friends like the reboot's like 7 years, 8 years now.
It's since we have. Yeah, are you talking about the before and then that with the reboot?
No, just the reboot.
The reboot. Yeah,
I mean, the reboot.
It's probably 6 years maybe.
No, it's because it was 2018, right?
Was it? No, I thought it was 2019. We'll have to go back and figure out. We'll have to go back and look at it. But for us, we had to like the looking at the green flags, like being self-aware. These are things that those are defining moments in our reboot. Are we, can we be self-aware? Can I be self-aware? I remember there's a specific moment for me or for us about that.
I am half Filipino. Sean is very Caucasian.
I am very white. I am so white.
I am half Filipino. Yes. So, I mean, that is about as Hispanic as I get, I guess. My grandparents actually immigrated over here in the 50s after the war. So, yeah. So, yes. No, but Shauna, you and I, we've gone through the vetting process consistently. It's a consistent thing in our relationship. That is a consistent thing that we do have.
No, that's a name that I came up with years ago, many years ago. And yeah, it did have that influence, but no, that's not my ancestry. Yeah, for us, the vetting is a pretty consistent thing. And I think a lot of it is because we are both growing. We're both on our journeys, and so that comes up a lot. Where we at, and how does that?
It's usually where we at now. What's
Well,
happening?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
usually what I ask.
yeah.
What is going on? What is
What is
going on?
yeah.
What is happening? What is going
Hmm.
on right now?
Yeah. And things, I think things had become a bit strained when so I've been in therapy for years, and then and you started your mental journey, you started therapy, and like that started when that happened, that started to like that affected our relationship because your healing journey was different than my healing journey. And in some ways I felt like I was looking at your journey, and like there was some conflict with us at that point.
Glass noodles. Oh my gosh, I haven't had those in years. Those are
What?
good.
Okay.
I
I
used to
have
love eating those.
Yeah.
Those are good.
um but yeah, that affected our friendship when us being in therapy and us growing and our journeys not being at the same pace, the same
And our
place.
traumas are
And
not the same. Our traumas weren't the
yeah,
same.
exactly.
But I
So
know both you and I were both trying to make it the same. I think both you and I were trying to keep it the same.
yeah,
We both, it
we were,
was, yeah.
I think there was a lot of focus on wanting to kind of mesh them together and be together on the journey together at the same, and that wasn't healthy. And I had a big part in that. I know I did that a lot. Because I wanted to check the box. I wanted that to be
Right.
something.
And I think there's also for me, I was, because I approach therapy, I approach my mental health, I approach life differently than Sean. Just period, end of story. Like that's just
Yeah.
like, and I meet things head on. I'm like, give me the hardest thing, and that's what I'm going to work on first. Sean's like, what's the
Give me the
easiest?
low hanging fruit.
What is the easiest thing? What's the least painful thing I could start? And so like our journeys, like they're still going together, but it was at a different pace, and we
Yeah.
were dealing with our traumas in a different way. And I was getting frustrated because I'm like, why are you not dealing with your shit? And he's all like, and he would then get frustrated because like, why am I not as far ahead as you? And it's like we having to
Yeah.
come to this realization where we did have a big come to Jesus, like several.
With several, yeah. Like I'm not there yet. It's having to admit that I'm not there yet, and not only that, but then accepting that it's okay for me to not be there yet.
Right.
I know this is something that I work on, but your journey is not my journey. Oh, that was hard. That was actually
Yeah.
hard for me to
Yeah.
go. We're at different places. We're at different paces, and that's okay. That's the acceptance part.
Yeah.
Really difficult for me because I wanted to be fixed. I wanted to be there. I wanted to have that. I wanted to move at that pace.
But I think what I'm trying to convey is that Sean and I both were on the line of moving outside of each other's intimate circle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay to get there. And it's okay that it's like we were there. But then when we both realized that we were on that edge of, okay, we're just pushing out of that, like is this something that we're willing to work on to maintain that? And that's what vetting is. And are we, all right, I'm evaluating where I'm at. He's evaluating where we're at. And now we're evaluating it together. We're vetting this. We're making these choices, and we have to make these choices together.
Yeah, and it was a conscious choice. It was.
But if he had an expectation that I wasn't willing to meet, then that is then where he had to make a choice. I could easily have moved into the, out into the friend zone.
Yeah.
Into the friend zone.
Is my journey, or am I hindering your journey?
Right.
And that's what I didn't want to. I have to be able to look at and go, I am struggling, and I'm I can't. I don't want to hinder anyone else's journey. I don't want that to happen. I have to be able to say our relationship is going to change because individually, this is what has to happen. That's not an easy thing to come to grips
Ron
with.
and I were very codependent about 2 years ago.
Oh,
Very, very, very
yeah.
hard,
It was
disgustingly so. And I think we were the only ones that didn't see it. I think we were the only ones.
Fine.
It's fine. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
It's cool. Yeah. So it's like, oh God.
Vetting is not judging. Vetting is not judging another person. At least you remained friends. We did. And that is it is a choice. It is absolutely a choice. It's not because we feel obligated. It is not because we feel like we can't walk away at any time. Because we know we can. And we've said that to each other. Mm-hmm. This is not working, walk away. If this friendship is not what you need, if I'm hurting you, walk away.
Yep. We have said that.
It's a choice. And that's also a part of the evaluation and the is this something that I'm wanting to work for, and are we working for it together, or am I the only one doing the heavy lifting?
And that can happen in relationships where it becomes that one-sided, where one person is working and the other person is not. And I think that was us actually for a bit. I think that was. I think there was a point where I kind of stagnated.
We traded off. We lobbied it over.
Yeah.
Here's your turn. It's fine.
But we did have to work on it. It was a choice, and it was active. We had to evaluate it and work on it and choose what we wanted and decide what was best for us going forward. So
here we are. We don't hate each other.
No, we don't.
You annoyed the fuck out of me, but I still love you.
Mm-hmm. And vice versa. I mean,
fair. I really feel like as we've grown in our mental health journey, like our black cat, golden retriever personalities have completely solidified, and that is the nature of our relationship. He annoys the shit out of me because he's this golden retriever, like, and I annoy him because my black cat, like, fuck it, whatever, dude, like, fuck it, like, what?
That's I'm the big dog that's laying there like inching closer to the cat, and the cat's like, dude,
like, play with me. Let's play. Can we play? Whatever. Yeah, I'm happy. And the cat's like, I'm just existing.
And that is just us.
That is us.
That's how we are. So.
Speaking of cat.
Yeah. Yep. She getting on needed. Does she want her camera time?
And her and I are not on our good graces right now. And we've been fighting the past days.
What? No, that's crazy.
Thanks.
There you go.
Okay. Hey, kitty tax. Hey, look. Here she is. My naked potato cat. Mom,
it's like she wants to be there, but then when she's there, she's like, no, leave me alone.
Yeah, pretty much. So, all right. What is one thing you want people to take away from this episode?
Okay, this may sound, I don't know how this is gonna sound. I'm gonna say it anyway. Vet early, vet often.
I mean, that applies in spicy. It's not wrong. It applies in all spicy and non-spicy attitudes.
It's okay to evaluate. It's important to evaluate, to reflect, to take a step back and look at who you are, where you are, and the people around you. You decide the friends and what circles they're in.
So at the end of our little outline, it says lighthearted joke. So I asked Logan to give me 5 lighthearted jokes on vetting.
Oh God.
And then, so the original joke was, I used to think vetting was just for CIA agents and job interviews. Turns out it should have been for my dating life too.
Right? You know, for some people, it's the same thing.
I mean, fair. So here are the 5 jokes that I asked Logan
My
to give me.
God.
You ready? This is what I want people to go away with. Whatever moves you. Vetting someone is like ordering food online. The picture looks amazing, the description is perfect, and then it arrives and you realize you should have read the reviews first.
I mean, yeah. Gotta read those reviews.
Oh, I am. Are you a reviewer? I am a massive reviewer. Like, I don't give reviews, but I read the reviews. I make sure to read all the reviews.
Yeah, hit or miss. Sometimes it depends on how much I want something. The more I want something, the less reviews I read. I read the reviews until they affirm what I believe, and then I go with it.
Of course you do. Of course, because that's how you approached life. It's like, okay, what information can I gather to support whatever decision I've already made?
Right, I've already thought about it. I just need someone to confirm that that's what I. It's how I approach my shopping.
It's how you approach life. It's how you approach your dating life.
Yeah, but who approved my ex?
I tried to give you a 1-star review. You didn't listen.
You were all over Yelp giving her 1 stars.
And you blocked me, so don't even start. I tried. Yeah. You didn't listen.
No, but that's my point, is who affirmed?
Your mom, the church. Okay, now we're moving on.
That's it. Okay, moving on. Yeah, let's go.
I used to think red flags were just fun little challenges. Now I realize they're more like stop signs with flashing lights and a guy waving his arms screaming, "Run!"
That sounds about right, yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Eric. Yeah, he totally blocked me.
Yeah, that's a story. That's a story for another time.
Dating without vetting is like adopting a pet without knowing its breed. One minute you think you have a golden retriever, and the next you got a feral raccoon stealing.
Oh my God, that is funny. Wow. Trash Panda. Oh.
I don't need to test people. Just take them to a restaurant. If they're rude to the waiter, the vetting process is over faster than the breadsticks at Olive Garden.
I've heard that's actually a thing. How you treat service workers, how the other person treats service workers, is a perfect example of how they're going to treat you in a relationship. Anyone, pretty much, yeah. Yep. So that is pretty funny.
The last one. They say love is blind, but that's why you need vetting, because otherwise love isn't just blind. It's also broke, emotionally unavailable, and living in their mom's basement.
All right. Yeah. Oh my God. Logan with the jokes.
Okay, I said give one last big vetting takeaway.
Okay.
Vetting isn't about being paranoid or judgmental. It's about protecting your peace. The right people will never be scared off by your boundaries. Only the wrong ones will. So take your time, trust your gut, and remember, red flags don't turn green just because you want them to.
Oh, drop! That's a mic drop right there.
It's pretty much everything we've been saying for the past 2 hours, so that's fine.
Exactly. That's so true. Yeah. Wow.
Can't beat that. So
no, you can't. I mean, that's it.
Yeah. So what time is your Lego stream, Sean? Are you having one?
Lego stream is at 6:30 Eastern tonight on my channel. You just click on my name right there. I was going to type it in there, but you can click on my name. So it is on my channel, and I am starting a new build tonight. I still haven't decided which one I'm going to do. I think I'll decide probably 5 minutes before I do it.
I lost by 15 minutes, folks, by the way.
Did, yes. We did on the last stream. You joined me in building the set at the same time, but not at the same place. I was halfway done. For people that don't know, I was halfway done, and Anna started building it.
He was in bag 5 as I started.
Yeah, and it was a race to see who would finish first.
And I was on bag 8, which there's 9 bags. I was on bag 8 when he finished his.
Yeah, so if she had not given me a handicap, I would have lost bad. So
it was all
so
good
tonight, yeah, it was. I enjoyed that. I did. It was good competition. We are a little competitive.
That's not toxic. That's
no, not at all. Yeah, so I've got a mechanic, a garage, either a small garage set to build or a Viking village to build.
And then on Tuesday, and then, yes, so that's on Dorian Sombra. That is on his channel tonight. And then on Tuesday, we have 3 Bards and a Dragon. I might actually show up for this one.
Sweet.
I know. I was sick the first one, and I had family obligations for the second. But so 3 Bards and a Dragon, that's on team_AOA. And that's our channel, our network channel. And then on Wednesdays, we have Tatum J with his Cozy Mechanic Gaming. I mean, I want to do something. Like, he needs to get some more channel rewards where we can infuriate him more. So that he can, I know. I want to poke some. I want to poke some of the redneck out of him.
Yeah,
that's not unhealthy either.
It goes his house flipping goes way too easy.
But no, it's a great gaming. It's a lot of fun. He does house flippers and cozy gaming, redneck cozy gaming, I think that's what he calls it. And then and then we're back here on Sunday. Hopefully, I think Sean and I are both talking about talking about bringing back another solo stream. So awesome. Would y'all watch that? Would y'all watch another solo stream?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you have good solo streams. Be confident in yourself. You have good solo streams. People like your streams.
Right there.
I know it sucks. Take the compliment.
Okay, fine. Anyway, so I feel like 2 hours is enough. Like y'all had it. So Sean, it wasn't that bad, was it?
I survived. It was a good topic. You chose well. You did.
Thanks. All right. Anyway, all right. So we will catch you guys later. And
have a great rest of your Sunday.
Did you really just high five over me? Right
no,
now?
We didn't.
Okay, we're live.
Hey.
Hello.
You don't even do that well from the front seat.
Okay.
And the bear's coming with the cup and spoon.
That's a straight up PBR for the table.
Yeah.
I think it called.
She ain't judging us at all.
Did you really just high five over me? Right
no,
now?
we didn't.
Okay, we're live.
Hey.